What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and on today's show, we're going to talk about how the Baltimore Ravens are dead last in spending for a very important position group. It shocked me. I'm sure it's going to shock you guys as well, so make sure you stick around because I'm going to reveal it very, very quickly. But before I do, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel, okay? It's free, doesn't cost you a dime, helps us out a ton. And also, if you want to beat our Steelers channel in our AFC North March-long sub battle, then you got to help me out, okay? We're only down 8 subs. Very, very close. It's been a back-and-forth battle the entire month. So to prove to everybody here, my bosses, anybody at Chat Sports, that we run the AFC North, do me one big favor. Let's blow out the Steelers and hit that sub button. So the Baltimore Ravens are dead last in spending for, boom, the offensive line. One of the most key position groups in the entire National Football League, especially after we saw the Chiefs' offensive line get bowled over in the Super Bowl, basically lose that for them. I took a look at the over-the-cap numbers, and the Ravens are dead last in spending for the entire offensive line. And this is really surprising to me. This is very shocking to me. And not only because, you've got a franchise quarterback, but also because, the group itself is not really bad at all. And I'm going to take a deeper dive into that in just a second, but I want to show you the numbers before so I can prove I'm not just making this up, pulling this out of thin air. If you look at the bottom 5 of the National Football League for offensive line spending, there's Baltimore. Not even $20 million in 2025 on the entirety of their offensive line. Seattle is a step above them, just under $23 million. Miami at 28, at $38 million almost. And the leader in the National Football League, you guessed it, actually you probably didn't. It's the Carolina Panthers, $95 million in 2025 towards their offensive line. Almost $80 million more than Baltimore. So be honest with me, okay? Let me know in the comments section down below. Comment your answer. Is this number surprising to you? Because I'm not going to lie, it was really surprising to me. Give me a yes or give me a no in the comment section down below. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break when that time comes. Don't panic. Go down in the comment section and give me your answer. I think one of the reasons it's surprising is because you just signed your left tackle, Ronnie Stanley, to a 3-year, $60 million contract with $44 million of that guarantee. Now you position the contract so the cap hit was a little less. Obviously, you added 3 void years on the end of that. But when you give out a 3-year, $60 million deal to one of your 5 offensive linemen, I think you kind of suspect that that number is going to be maybe a little bit higher than just under $20 million. And the funny thing is, like I said earlier, is it's not a bad group at all. For an offensive line that costs under $20 million, it is incredibly successful, or it was incredibly successful in 2024. If you look at the PFF grades for the starters, and this is last year, I know Patrick McCarry is now a Jacksonville Jaguar. I know that. Save it. But Ronnie Stanley, 70 grade. Tyler Linderbaum, almost an 80. Roger Rosengarten, a 66, and that's with having a pretty bad start to his rookie season. Of course, he brought it together at the end. It was phenomenal. But it's the guards in the middle. Daniel Fa'alele, Patrick McCarry, they're sitting right at about an average of 60. They were obviously the weaker links when it came to the offensive line, but still, as a whole, you rush for more yards than anybody in the National Football League. Lamar Jackson threw more touchdowns and more passing yards than anybody, actually behind Joe Burrow, anybody else in the National Football League. Okay, so you were giving your players time. You were making holes for the king, and yet they're going into 2025 costing us $20 million. You look at the offensive line for this upcoming season, and it looks the same as what I just showed you, except, of course, it's different in the left guard spot. Andrew Voorhees will be the starter going into 2025, and just like he was in 2024, till he injured himself after week 3, Patrick McCarry took over, and this group did not look back. Voorhees had only, I think, 60 snaps after week 3. So the lack of money, for being honest, it's a little bit concerning. especially considering how important that offensive line group is just in the game of football, and the fact that you have a franchise quarterback. The fact that you have this coveted possession that every single person on this team, every single person involved in this organization, their one thought every single day is keeping him protected. It's a little concerning to me that you're spending less than $20 million on the group of 5 players that is tasked with doing that exact same thing. However, we looked at all the numbers. We've talked about it for almost 6 minutes now. I would expect that to change pretty soon. Okay? And it's because of this big guy right there. Mr. Tyler Linderbaum. Okay? Jeff Zreback tweeted this out when Eric Decosta and John Harbaugh spoke to the media in late January. This was their first press conference going in, sending us in to the 2025 offseason. And Eric Decosta said the team will work to get extensions for both Tyler Linderbaum and Kyle Hamilton this offseason because they both are eligible. And when that contract extension comes for Tyler Linderbaum, it's going to up this number a good bit. Now, it's not going to up it enough for the ranking to be in the top 20 even. You're going to, I think, just barely pass the Dolphins, which they're at 28. But my contract projection for Tyler Linderbaum is 4 years, $64 million a year. Not $64 million a year. 4 years, $64 million. That's around $16 million a year, which puts him at the second highest paid center, which I think is perfectly where he is at. If he wants to be the highest paid center, I don't think I would hesitate in making him that, and that's Creed Humphrey currently. It's sitting at $18 million a year. So when you look at that group, as we've been talking about them, I'm confident in the tackles, very, very confident in Ronnie Stanley and Roger Rosengarten, and I'm very, very confident in the middle in Tyler Linderbaum. But we all know those guards on either side are big question marks going into this next season. So coming up, I'm going to talk about my top offensive line draft targets, either for depth on the outside or possibly to fight for a starting spot in the middle in just a second. But before that, I got to tell you guys about this amazing deal that Fanatics is offering right now. And if you go to chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt, very easy, very simple, you get this Ravens t-shirt for just 33% off. It was $30. Now it's $20. I can't tell you how good of a deal that is to find a t-shirt for your favorite team for just $20. In this climate, in this economy, absolutely ridiculous. Chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt is where you need to go. And also, just a little plus, if you use that link, snag yourself a t-shirt. It helps out the show as well. So go to that link. It's going to be in the comments and description of today's video. So let's start talking about guards because, like I said, tackle isn't necessarily a need because you have 2 really good starters. I don't want to go offensive line until the 3rd round. And that's because if you rolled into 2025 with this starting group, I wouldn't be like, okay, this is the best offensive line in the National Football League. But I also wouldn't have the thought of, okay, this is an awful offensive line. I'd be decently confident in it. I'm less confident in our edge rushers, and I'm less confident in the cornerback room, so that's what I want to go 1-2. But when you get to the 3rd or in the 4th round, I'm cool with going guard there. Very, very cool. These are the 4 prospects that in my mind are the top guard prospects that could possibly fall to you in that 3rd round. Okay, Miles Frazier, Jonah Monheim, Tate Ratledge, guy I really like, and Clay Webb. Let's talk about Jonah, okay? I really, really love his versatility. And I think that's what this team needs when it comes to the front 5. They need a guy who can kind of play all over because you lost that in Patrick McCarry. Patrick McCarry was a guy who played in every single position on the line. He was the ultimate unicorn. And you don't have that anymore. You don't have that at all, okay? Jonah Monheim could give that to you. Let me know in the comment section, what round should Baltimore draft offensive line in? Do you think they should go early? Do you think it should be a little bit later? You let me know in the comment section and give me your answer. So like I was talking about Jonah, he was just the ultimate Swiss Army knife for USC. 762 career snaps at left tackle, 807 at center, 339 at right guard, and 716 at right tackle. So it's obvious he played a little bit more time on the outside, but still gave over 1,000 snaps on the interior. He's a guy I would love to add in that 4th or 5th round. Let's talk about tackle now, okay? Logan Brown out of Kansas, Charles Grant out of William and Mary, Chase Lunt out of UConn, Arlington's own, and Jack Nelson out of the University of Wisconsin. I'd prefer to go tackle in the 6th round for multiple reasons. Number one, you have 4 6th-round picks. Let me say that again. Dilly, they have 4 6th-round picks. That's crazy. That's a lot. And like I said off the top, I feel good about where this team is for their tackles as the starters. And so I don't really want to waste a pick in the top 5 on a guy who's just solely going to be on the bench. And so I prefer to go tackle in the 6th round because you can get a guy who's a really, really solid backup piece like a Logan Brown, like a Chase Lunt, who, you know what, can be there in case, knock on wood, one of your offensive linemen goes down. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate all of you guys who support us right here at the Ravens Rundown by watching these videos all the way through, liking, commenting, doing all the things that the real ones do. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join us right now, and we'll see you next time.